So yesterday we discussed about, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yesterday we discussed about collections. In that one, actually, we discussed about list, array list and linked list, right? So today we will talk about set. Set is basically is also a linked list, is also a collection. But why we will set is just one second. Let me see the participants once. Oh, just one minute. So yesterday I already explained you, right? Sorry. Yeah, I'm starting now. Yeah, I'm not on mute. So yesterday I told you, right? The set is also a similar collection, but the only difference is uh, contains set does not contain duplicate elements. It avoids keeping that in the duplicate elements. So we'll see internally like how it works and all in today's tutorial. Just give me one more minute. I'm sorry. I will pause recording also. Just give me one more minute. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, we discussed the set, right? I'm sorry again. So set is a collection as a list similar to list, but it avoids duplicate variables. First, actually, let's look into the set. What elements it contains. Yesterday we learned about array list, sequential list. Uh, so yeah, let's look at the yesterday program. Even though it has a random access in list, but finding an element still is actually a difficult where in the list. It has to uh, either we need to know like exactly the index in the case of our list, or we need to keep finding till the time actually the element is occurred. That's one disadvantage. Still, there is a disadvantage in both array list and linked list. So the set try to overcome that issue, find an element very quickly. So that's where actually it's called like a hash mapping, hash code, all those things. Like we'll know about this one. First, look at set API. So set is a collection, as I mentioned. It's also implements even known as sorted set, event set, and everything. And it is actually an implementation of abstract set. So abstract set is an abstract class as you mentioned here. But again, it has a subclasses of Hashset. Yeah. So we'll learn about these two today, Hashset and treeset, as I mentioned in this PPT. As I mentioned in this PPT, Hashset and treeset, we'll learn about this one. So let's go to Hashset. So the hierarchy is Hashset, extends abstract set, and implements set. So what methods we have? We have like a very similar to list. Actually, we have add, we have contains, we have remove, size, and everything. So what it makes difference when it compared to uh, has set? So what it makes difference to if we compare to uh, a linked list or anything, linked list or array list. Actually, the list interfaces is actually the implementation, the underlying implementation. So how it works, the underlying implementation. So let's say, I think somewhere I mentioned this. Okay. Let me take another PPT and explain you guys. So hash set work on a hashing algorithm. As I said, set is one of the subclass of set. Actually, we are trying to implement today, or trying to learn it. Hash set is a implementation of underlying implementation is on the hashing algorithm. So how it works, hashing algorithm? What is hashing algorithm, right? So for every object, let's say actually I am taking up class student. So for every object, it will be having a underlying hash code technique. Hash code is nothing but actually how it is stored in a database. How it is stored in a database, right? Um, or you can think like it's a memory area as well. But, hash code is a memory area. So let's say that it's some memory area is there. I got two columns. Or simply, actually, I don't want a student. Let's start with yesterday's example only. I want to store uh, Sabha. I want to store Kavya, all these things, right? These are string. If you look at a string, actually, for every string, there is a concept called hash code. In Java, every object has its own hash code. Let's look into that one first. Actually, let me explain that first. So before I go here, like I have a main method. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, what I'm trying to do, I want to show you. I want to show you like the hash code, how it works, right? So we have yes sub just a string variable. Okay. When I go to hash code, right? Hash code in every object it is already implemented and it is a int variable. Let's see like what it prints. So some garbage area, right? Or some that's called like a hashing technique. Hash code is, if you want actually what is exactly hash code, let's go into object class. It's there in the object class, and look into hash code. So this is what actually the hash code of a object. It just actually hashes that. Whenever invoke the same object one or more times, your application uses the hash code. The advantages of the hash code also it's mentioned here. As much as responsibly practically is defined by object class, does not distinct integers or distinct objects. Okay. Two objects. These are the hash code. Two objects are equal according to equal method. Okay. As of now, I didn't. As of now, let's keep that hash code is some value, a unique ID for a object in the memory location. That's what the hash code will generate, a unique ID, like a how you have the ID when you go to your college, right? You have a ID, or when you go to a company, you will have a yes, Daksha, Dharani.
So it is the internal address of an object.
Correct. In the memory, it's an internal address of the object, or address or ID.
Okay.
You can think of that one, a unique ID for each and every object. So this is yes, right? Saba. So let's say actually I have given another reference S2, same Saba, but I am creating into a new with a new string. And let's see actually if it has the same content. Sure, no problem. Uh, Strings are pooled. That's why actually it is coming the same address. Uh, See, one is with lowercase, one is with uppercase. How much difference you see it? So can think that actually every object in Java is actually a uh, is actually a address location. Or sorry, hash code will give you like a unique ID or unique address location for each Java object in. I'm sorry, what I'm done. Java will provide for each object, it provides a unique address or ID as in the name of hash code. Till that actually you understand, right? Hash code will give you a unique ID. See here it is, how it is giving. And this hash code, how it calculates the hash code is actually a JVM responsibility. In in many cases, it uses its own algorithm, like a how hashing technique actually to use it to calculate that one. We are not covering that one today, but we'll go over like the rest of things. Uh, so, okay. So what the hashing technique is? So Saba has one hash code, so it will be having something like it will go and keep, like let's say what Sabha got it. In this address, Sabha will be stored this one. One is the hash code and the address location. This is how actually hash map will store. Okay, let me keep that. Hashset, right? So Hashset, but what it will do, it will tag every object as a memory location. Let's say this is what actually, and it will be having blocks actually, not this one. It will be having like a blocks. Okay, this is let's say this is a bucket. Okay, in each bucket, it will be having blocks of code. How a hash set, a hash ID is associated with this one. Like sometimes there is a chance that hash map is the hash set is hash ID is coming actually same thing. So in that case, what happens, right? It goes and find out the equals method in that one. That's what actually say, right? If two objects are equal according to equals method, okay, it's not giving that hash code equals. So this is also coming, it's there in the object class. It's also there in the object class. This is also coming, this is also in the object class. So let's actually look into the how it works internally. So how at high level, like how it works using the program, and then we'll go and explain. I'll go and explain you like in detail. Let's say instead of taking string, I want to demonstrate with a my own custom class. So I created a student class, string name. I don't have anything else. Okay. I just want to demonstrate with my custom class. So I'm overriding hash code here. It's as I keep on telling you that every object in Java is a is a child of uh, object class. So object class has this hash code and I'm overriding this one. Okay. This is the way actually I can override it. And also I am overriding equals method. Okay. And let's see like what happens in this one. So I'm just taking the same name hash code. Okay. So same way actually I will also check the equals method, how it works. I'm casting it to student, and then I'm trying to equals with dot name. If both names are equal, so now actually what I'm going to do, I will try to, in order to create a hash set, right? So same way, hash set, okay, set equals to new Hashset. Okay, in this case, because I'm demonstrating, I will use a student, this one. Let me create student with a constructor as well. Okay, this is my student class. I have a name, I have a constructor, and I have two overridden methods, hash code and equals. I want to demonstrate you like how the hash set will treat internally and uses this hash code and equals methods. Okay, now yes. These are my new student classes. Okay, now I am trying to add the first one. I just declared one and I'm trying to add student.s1. And when you call this one, let's see like what are all the things actually it will call it. See, the very first thing actually it called on the hash code method. So what it does is, this is the part. Whenever you are adding to a set, so this one treats as a table. One is the memory location, and the next one is your name. Actually, it will keep that one. And if you are trying to add, let's say you are trying to add again S1. What happens now? So I want to get that one. That's what I want to try it. Okay, I have added. Okay, let's try. Actually, I want to. Sorry, that's what. So let's try. Actually, I want to add S1 itself, not S2. I want to add S1 itself again. Let's see what happens. So S1. And let's see like a students or size ones, how many elements are added. See, it's only one element is added. The reason is it's actually overrides that value. So whenever you have a name, right? Whenever you are like in this case, this is what actually your address or ID, and it stores associated with this one. So for Kavya, it may be like a different thing. Let's say actually I am adding S2. So it is Kavya's ID. So now actually if you see it, the address is increased. So what happens here, we'll take this location and store Kavya over there. Similarly, for each and everybody, for each and every object, it first takes the hash value and stores appropriately. Now actually, yeah, it's integer value, right? When I say integer, it can be a negative value as well. Integer, there is no, in Java, there is no separate signed word for integer and like positive integers and negative integers. The integer can hold both values. There is no sign difference. It can hold like a negative or positive. Okay, now let's look into how I can read the data. So let me add all. This is my data I have added. As I know, right, if I keep add another element, right, the size will not increase. Whereas in list, actually, the size will increase. So the size remains because there are only 6 distinct students. The 6 only the count will come. The same thing if I add in the list, it will be like a 7 elements. That's one difference in the list versus Hashset. But let's look into how it internally works. Now, right, I want to read set dot, let's say contains. I'm checking actually if student contains, the set contains S1 or not. Let's see what happens. So what it is doing, it's directly going to the student class, right? And then actually it is trying whether it has the same object code. It's just going here. It's going here. Okay, and reading this value. Direct access. You can see that actually it's going into hash code method. Whenever you say contains or get, actually what it will do, it will go. It's just like your table, right? Your roll number versus your like a let's say actually your roll number is 1002, right, Sabha? So I can directly go and look into you based on your roll number than your name. Maybe name wise actually it's a little difficult, but look into that one and then get the details. That's how it works with the hash code. But there is also equally important for equals actually. I want to demonstrate that one. Let's say that I have one more similar variable called S7. See here, when I am trying to add a same element of Sabha, right? So it somehow actually it found, okay, let me comment out all these things for time being. So when we add actually first Sabha to the set, this is what actually my system out was. It went here, and it found it, okay, whether hash code, it found it generated a ID and stored it. Now in this case, right, I am adding another Sabha to the same set. Then it got like a same hash code. Then it want to see like whether it is returning yes. In this case, right, what happens? So let's say it is returning the same value. then actually it will go and find, is it by mistake actually I'm getting a same ID, or actually is there any difference that actually I need to check. I need to check the content now. Okay, for example, you in your class, like you, some of you guys actually have the same ID, right? Then what will you do? Maybe you will take another approach to verify whether you both are same thing. Maybe you will verify if we are in a same class or same section, etc. things, right? You will verify. So let's say actually somebody called you like a in 10th class roll number 10. There might be like a multiple people with roll number 10 in 10th class because the sections are different. There is A section, B section, C section, whatever, right? So then you will go in deeper and find out to differentiate them, right? Exactly, it works in the same way. So when ID gave like a same value, okay, it goes and finds out. It won't actually trust the ID alone. It will go and find out the equals method whether the content is also same or not. And then if the content is also same, then actually it overrides. If content is not same, for this, just for this example, right? Let's say that I am returning by default false. I'm returning by default false. Let's see actually here the size is 1. Now if I do it, so what happens? See, the size is 2. So how it works is, if this is size is this one, right? Like what happens now? So it will, you can say that this is a block, right? And it will start a linked list on that one. Each and every element with the same hash code will form a linked list again. One first reference, second reference, and third reference. Likewise, actually, it will go and implement that one. Let's say now I will also implement string grade. No, int grade. What is a general term actually? Class or grade? Class, right? Uh, Grade is for the marks, and class is which class you are in. I can't use the reserved word CLASS, so I'm using the class. So here Sabha is 10th grade. Here she is in 11th grade. So we have actually two Sabhas. One is in 10th grade and one is in 11th class. So if I add this one, now what I will do here, I will check return hash code. Actually, I am assuming that actually it's giving the same name, same value for same name. Now actually let's look into this dot class equals to, I'm casting it against student. Okay, I'm checking actually if both classes are equal, then return me. Okay, also I will try to implement print method just for our convenience purpose. There is a toString. ToString is also there in the object class. We can override that one in many according to our need. So what it does, it returns a string object. You can sometimes, most of the time, it will give you a memory address. Uh, yeah, so most of the time it gives a memory address. So first, actually, if I implement, let me show you that first. System.out.println. I'm trying to prove. Okay, see, toString is, I didn't implement here toString. I didn't implement the toString. So I'm trying to implement, but still I can implement. I can call the toString method on this one. This is my custom class, student class. There is no toString implementation, but still I can call that one because it's inherited by a object class. So let's see what happens. I'm commenting out any other code and see like what happens if I call s1.toString. See, it gives some memory location, right? Student at some whatever the memory location where it is there. If you implement toString also, it will give the same thing because we are calling super.toString. Okay? Same memory location, it will give you that one. Now, actually, what I will do, instead of calling super.toString, what I will do, I will print my details in the toString. So this, let's see like what it prints now. Earlier, actually, it's told like some memory reference, right? Now it's giving the actual student object, how it is constructed, Sabha class 10. Okay, now let's go and let's take it out. Let's go add S7, right? Yeah, we are trying to add S7. Size. Let's see. Now I have actually two students. Whatever. See the student value first, actually this one and class 10. Now actually what I want to do is I want to see if S1 is S2 is there, S7 S7 is there or not. So first I am trying to print the size and I am trying to see if my next student is there. See what is happening. It's directly going to the it's directly going to the student class and finding if same hash code value is same, and then it is returning that value. But what we want, it's we want to also see if we are getting the exact student value, right? Who is coming here to in. Okay, it's going and finding actually the appropriate class only. Let's say now actually if I say yes one now. Okay, still getting on the same one. Generally, like what happens here, right? When you contains that one, it will go, and then here actually it will go step by step approach, the linked list approach. Whether it has this one, it has this one. Maybe it's not right example to show that one. Yes, Dharani.
Sir, I'm having one doubt. Here you
Yes,
override a
yes.
hash code and you and equals also, but it printing
Right.
two times that Saba class 10. But actually, you said set won't allow duplicate values. But actually,
Correct.
but practically, we are seeing that here it's showing two values. So here it's showing duplicate value also. Am I right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Why?
That's what actually I didn't I commented this one. Let's look at this one, like what happens.
Okay.
So when we first time, or let me debug this one and show it to you. Now actually we are adding on line number S7. Yes, S1. First student S1 object, we are adding it. So in this S1, right, what is happening is it's actually simply going and take that one, and S1 is completed. See, the S1 student size is 1 now. Size is 1. Look at this one. Size is 1. Now actually the same student with a different class I'm trying to add. So in this case, it also comes to the student. Okay. Now what happened? It has the same student name, right? So same hash code will come. Immediately it will go and jump onto equals method if it is really same. Okay. If it is not really same, it will go. Okay. Now, right, it's added because it's not the same value, right? With a different class, it went and added a same. It went and added a different element as a different element. Now, so let's now look into this one. I don't have equals method at all. In this case, what happens is, let's debug it again. S1 we are trying to add. Okay, Sabha. It went and find out the address. It assigned the ID for Sabha address is something actually. And then we are trying to add same Sabha with a different grade, but I am not checking anything in the equals method. I am checking only on the name portion, right? Only on the name portion. I am not doing anything else on that one. So it is same object basically. So in this case, what happens? So it's going to the same hash code. So far, actually, before executing this add method, the size was 1 second, I'm getting the wrong result. Why size is 2? Just 1 second. It cannot be size equals to 2. Okay, let me try implementing equals method. Okay, and by default, actually, I will return true no matter what. And this case, let's try it. Yeah, see 1. So what's happening? Let me look into this one. First, we are trying to add Sabha with class 10. Size is 0, right? So it's going to hash code method, and it will find a address and assign to that student. Okay. Some ID is so and so ID. Okay. Sabha is assigned a ID, and it's added to a set. Next, actually, it's going to add same Sabha as a different object to the set. it will go and try. It will first actually generate the ID using the hash code, and it will check actually if, and it will check here if that address exists. If that address exists, right? So then it will go and check if the content is same or not. So next actually it comes to the, did it came to equals method or not? Should come to equals method, right? Okay. This one was stopped. Let me demonstrate it again. So first time, S1 we are trying to add hash code. Okay, hash code, it assigned the ID for student Sabha. And next time we are trying to add same Sabha again. So what it does, it try to generate the ID. It finds out the ID is same. The Sabha ID is same. Then it comes for equals method. The equals method will check the actual content. Now in this case, by default, actually I'm returning true, no matter what, right? So what is happening is it's going and finding that, okay, it's the same object. So it will override that one. It will override that value. So the total size will be 1 always, because the equals method is giving the true. That means the equals method saying that, okay, it's the same object. Or actually I can return like this same way. Instead of class, let's try check only the name portion. This also will add on the same one. See, it's going to first, this is the first line where it tried to add a hash first Sabha. Second time it's going to add, and inside that one, it found that Sabha equals same Sabha. Then it's returning false. In case, if I want, not this one, right? If I want to check the class as well, if I do it, there will be like a 2 Sabhas. See here it is 2 Sabhas. Likewise, actually it will differentiate the content. So when you are dealing with anything like a hash map, Hashset, right? It is very important for you to differentiate the objects or to override these two things according to your specific need. So let's say what happens now. Some people, let's say actually without this one, I am by default actually I'm returning 1 and returning true no matter what. Let's look. Let's try everything here. I'm trying to add everything. Okay. I'm trying to add each and every object into my list. Let's see actually what happens now. So can you guys guess actually what is the total list size here for me? I'm returning 1 for each and every object, and true in case actually it calls the equals method. So what will be my set size? Dharani, can you guess?
Sir, can you tell me the question one more time?
Yeah. So I'm adding 7 student elements to my set, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now actually what I intentionally did, hash code is 1 for each and every student. Each and every object, my hash code is 1. And I'm also returning true in the equals method. So what will be my set size in this case?
For every object, you wrote a hash code is 1.
Mm-hmm.
The size will be 7 and
No,
equals will be 2.
no. Size will be 1. Let's look this one. See, every time what is happening here is, so here, right? Now you are trying to, this is set, for example. So now you are trying to uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. I also put a line here. Here, student Sabha is some reference actually. Like let's say ID is generated like this for her. And next here, Sabha, sorry, hash code for 1 second. 1 second. Let me clear it. So for each and every object, the hash code actually gave like a number. Hash code is nothing but a ID, right? I'm giving like a 1. What's happening now? I'm trying to add Sabha. So it will go and add Sabha here. Sabha to the set. Okay, well and good. Now I'm trying to add Kavya. Whenever you want to add it, first thing it will go on, try to generate the ID. The hash code is ID 1. Right? I'm intentionally giving 1 here. So when it is ID 1, it thinks that, oh, it's the same ID. Am I adding the same object again to the list? Then it will go and check equals method. Equals method generally takes a responsibility to differentiate if ID is same. Like it will go and check other content, anything related to that object. But equals also, right? Equals also giving all the true only. So what happens now actually? The total, it will replace, it will go, it will erase, and it will write Kavya there. Okay. Now again Shahid comes. Now again Shahid comes. Shahid ID is also 1. Right? So it will replace here instead of Kavya, now on the 1 ID, Shahid will be there. So let's look this one like who is actually exist as of now, right? So what I'm doing, I'm using the for each loop to iterate on this one. Set is what actually I'm targeting, and student yes, yes, the variable name is student yes. Set is not of type object, so I need to cast it. Uh, I'm just casting it here. So I'm printing like how many elements are there. Let's look this and run by running this one. See, it's only has one element. Yes, 7 we have added, right? Yes, 7 is class 10. Okay, it's not adding that element at all. It's actually whatever you do add. Let's say actually I have only Sabha and Kavya here. I am adding only 2 elements. I'm sorry, I told wrong thing. So what is happening here? First you are trying to add a Sabha, right? And then you are trying to add Kavya. So first time you are adding Sabha here. Okay. Now second time you are trying to add Kavya, right? It has the same ID 1. So what it thought like, okay, why should I add it? Okay. It is not adding that element at all now. So let's look this values also once. I'm keeping them in system.out.println. So here actually it should print true. Here it should not print true. Let's execute this one once. See, true, false. It's returning that, okay, it's the same ID. I don't need to add this one. I don't need to add Kavya again to that one. That's where it actually keeps only unique elements. When you are trying to add same elements, how does actually Java knows same element? Right? It goes and finds a ID through hash code. If hash code is same, that's called like a hash collision. That concept is called like a hash collision. That means if same hash code for two or two or two objects generally. Hash collision is if hash code is same for two objects, that's we call like a collision. That means actually two objects fighting for the same ID. Then it will go and check the equals method, whether any difference in the equals method. Generally, equals will be checking on each and every attribute. It's not, okay, somebody made a mistake of giving the hash code, right? Java made a mistake of giving the same hash code for two objects. But it is your responsibility to verify all the objects, all the content is same or not. Just in this case, right? So let's assume that can you guys hear me properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
Madhuri
sir.
is saying that the voice is breaking. Uh, Madhuri, it seems like it's somewhere your side the issue is. Can you rejoin? Drop and rejoin, maybe it works. Okay, Smriti also saying that it's breaking. Uh, is it better now? I'm coming close to the monitor. Is it better now, Smriti? Okay. Yeah, I will come close to. Okay. Yeah, let's continue. Okay, so what I'm referring is, like, let's say, again, I'm coming to the beginning. uh, How Hashset will maintain uniqueness when compared to linked list. Linked list or array list, actually, they can't, their uh, area of interest is just to add the elements to the collection. They are not interested whether they are adding a same element or different element. Any element will be treated as a new element for them. But when it comes to Hashset, right, it is taking the responsibility of maintaining the uniqueness. Okay. You cannot add a duplicate element to a set. That's what the set intention is. So how it is maintaining that, how it is avoiding that adding a duplicate element to the set is actually, for every object in the Java, there is a concept called hash code. Hash code is what generated by JVM. Okay, it's, for now, and in layman words, you can understand that it's ID. Okay, when you join, actually, let's say when you are going and joining a college, you will get an ID. Okay, no matter what, actually, how many same people are there in your class, right? You will get a different ID. So that's where actually you can differentiate yourself. It could be quite obvious in your class, right? There at least, if there are like a 60 people in your engineering or graduation, right? There might be many people actually with the same name, especially um, yeah, either boys or girls, actually, like there might be same name people can happen. Okay. But how will you differentiate that one? You will differentiate with role ID. What's their role number, or what's their ID with that one? So same way, right? Same concept here also. For each and every object in Java will have a dedicated ID that comes from the hash code. Okay. But hash code is what generally takes a responsibility. Like, let's say now, actually, I'm not implementing the hash code, but still Java will implement the hash code, right? So that hash code, now actually I'm adding two elements, and let's see actually if two elements will come or not. See, now Sabha, Kavya both are added. If I give the default implementation of hash code to the Java itself. So Java has some technique, like how it will generate the hash code. It actually generated a different hash code. Let's say, like, I'm still overriding that one, but I'm returning super dot hash code, not this one. See what actually the super, like the object hash code is giving it here. I mean, student hash code values for Saba it's different thing, and for Kavya it is different thing. So actually, two elements are added to my set. So Java will take up that responsibility of creation of this ID and putting that. Okay, now actually what happens? Uh, in this address, Saba is added. Same way, the next address, this is Saba. So in the next address here, it will go and it will add Kavya here. Whenever it wants, right, it directly takes what is the hash code of this one and it goes and reads that value. So it is something similar to, let's say actually you are reading a dictionary. So how will you find fast for a particular word? Okay, you will go for each and every, that may not be right. Uh, you are asking actually in your somebody actually you are going and asking in your uh, class itself, like, okay, I want to talk to Kavya. Your teacher will ask, okay, which Kavya? There are two Kavyas here. Which Kavya you want to talk? Then you can describe some more details to that one. Like, okay, I want to call Kavya like roll number 20 or roll number 22. Then the appropriate Kavya will come and talk to you. Or I want to call another details, extra details, right? The first detail is role ID. Okay. If you don't know that one, the next details, what you will do, you will go and ask some other details. Where is she from? Okay. Or any other details like what village is she from, what city is she from, like where do she live, etc. Right? All these details will describe the additional details to find the exact Kavya. Same way, Java people thought like uh, hash code is not the right, only trusting the hash code is not the right way to differentiate the objects. We need to go and implement equals method as well. So the equals method will check another components like how we describe it now, and then we'll determine it has to whether it needs to be added. If equals method also returning true, right, that means it's same object. Then why should I add it? Why should I bother even adding it? So it won't even add. That's how it forbids adding a new element if it is same element, and keeps that objects in uniqueness. Okay. Uh, are you able to follow this one? Like how the Hashset will work? Dharani?
Yes, sir, I can follow. But I had one doubt in previous on the program only, but now
Yes.
now I can understand.
Okay, okay. You are clear, right? What is Hashset or not?
We can use
Okay.
if else statement also inside the equals. Can we use?
Yeah, we can use. It's also another method. You can use whatever you want. What do you want to try if else?
Okay.
So all it needs to return the Boolean value. That's it. Either true or false. It just
Okay.
you do whatever you want, right? If else, whatever you want, it needs to return a Boolean value at the end. If that is
Okay.
same thing, based on that, actually the hash actually will think that whether it is same or not.
Yes. Then what is the use of two strings here to write ID
Uh,
and name everything?
ToString is just actually, yeah, just I want to print all details of my
Okay.
object.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So Srujana, are you able to follow this one? Srujana, Sabha, any questions?
No, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, Kavya, tell me question. You
Sir,
said
I didn't
no
ask
question or
one
yes
question.
question, Sabha? Sir, what's it?
No question, sir.
Okay. Okay then. Now this is what Hashset works, right? Now we'll learn about tree set as well. As the name suggests, right? Tree set works as in a tree. Let me pull up a diagram. One second, how tree set works. Yeah, it's something similar to this one, red black tree. So let me go over and draw that one, how it works. Before I explain tree set, let's jump onto a binary tree. I think many of you guys already know it, binary tree. Uh, can we see some more example question on Hashset? Yeah, sure. Some more example means uh, can you explain, Smriti, like what some more examples you want, or at least describe like what you are looking. Implementation of Hashset, meaning like you are asking like how I can add it or how it works really, or I should repeat it. Okay. Yeah. So Hashset works. Again, I'm repeating. Maybe that probably helps the overall implementation. Hashset works on I first actually identifying ID and then associating a object with ID. The main purpose of Hashset is to avoid duplicates. Okay. The main purpose of Hashset is to avoid duplicates. So how it works, how it can avoid it, right? There should be some way where it can find whether the object is same or not. So the first foremost point is yeah, the first and foremost point is okay, when you are adding an element, in order to avoid duplicates, you should have like a some mechanism like a where you can identify an object first. So how you can identify an object? In Java, the first and foremost identification method is hash code. Hash code is nothing but an ID associated uh, with a object. Right? This hash code will provide an ID. The hash code is nothing but a Java internal algorithm that provides a ID for an object. It can be any integer number. It can be a negative number. It can be a positive number. It will generate based on certain criteria. It will generate and assign a ID to you. It is something similar to, let's say you are in a classroom and you are assigning a role ID, your attendance role ID. You need to, um, your teacher will call you, right? That's what actually to array ID. But Java people thought, okay, role ID or anything sometimes actually can, let's say actually you, in your class, you have the same role ID. But let's say actually for some purpose, okay, your teacher is merged two classes because actually he don't have schedule or anything. Actually, he's merging two sections and taking a class. In that case, right, he there are actually two Smritis in your class. So actually, let's say roll number 13, roll number 14 is roll number 13 is you, roll number 14 is somebody else. When you say 13, you actually uh, say presence or whatever, right? You gave your attendance with the 13. 14 actually your friend also gave it. Now actually your professor merged two sections, A and B, two sections he merged it. Now roll number, if we say roll number 13, right? It you can't actually say give your attendance, right? So because ID alone will not give a classification of a particular object or particular person. You need to give like a more details over there. So you need to say that, okay, or your professor might have said that, okay, this is section A, I am taking the attendance now. Then all section A people give the attendance. Then that makes more difference when you say roll number 13, you are giving the attendance. Otherwise, actually, you need to say roll number 13 from ECE or roll number 14 from ECE. Likewise, actually, you can differentiate that one. That's where the concept of equals method comes. When hash code is giving same object, that's called a hash collision. It goes and find for the equals method whether all details are equal. So here, generally what we will do, we will check everything. We will not return true here. We'll check all the details. Yeah, return. Let me cast for student. Return, right? This dot name. Yeah, this is what I am doing it. So what I'm doing, I'm checking if each and attribute of student is same or not just hash code. Now let's say I'm returning, it's not returning one, but actually I'm returning intentionally, I'm returning the same hash code, same number. My ID generation system gone wrong. It is giving me always a same number with my ID. So in this case, what happens? In this case, right? So ID is 1 here. So first I am trying to add Sabha, right? Sabha ID is 1. Sabha ID 1. But if you look at my size, actually, I still able to get all the details. So what happens now? What happens now, right? Sabha hash code is same thing. Sub ID came 1. Intentionally, I'm returning ID 1. Okay. Now, when I add first Sabha, it adds Sabha there. Okay, no issues. Now, I'm adding Kavya to my set. When I'm adding Kavya, it goes and checks the hash code for Kavya. Kavya hash code it's still 1. ID we are returning 1. Then actually what it finds, okay, I already have 1. Is it same Sabha we are adding or a different object we are adding it? So it will go and find with equals method. What equals method is doing, name and all, it is checking, right? All attributes it is checking. It tells that no, you are adding a different attribute. Then it will go and add towards one only, towards one index, one object only, one ID, it adds another one. So here this concept is called, again, it forms a linked list. Instead of adding a single element, it forms a linked list and adds to that one. Okay. Now look this one in detail by debugging it. So I'm adding actually first S1, size is 0, size set is 0. Let's go. It's going to hash code and finding that ID is 1. So it came here. It added there. Okay. Now I'm trying to add another element S2 with Kavya name. Let's see what happens. So it goes and finds the hash code. Hash code returning is 1 here. Intentionally I'm returning 1. My hash code mechanism gone wrong. Okay. Now what happens? It immediately jumps to equals. It didn't come to equals earlier, if you notice. Okay. If hash this one is also returning the same, right? Then it will not add it. Now actually we are returning a different value here. Let's see. Adding all the details here. So what is happening? It's added to the set. That's why set became 2. Okay. Now I can print the values. This is how it works. So for example, let's say I am returning not hash code. I'm returning actually I'm adding some more element, S3. I'm adding Shahid also to this one. And still hash code is remains same thing. Hash code actually remains same thing because I'm returning class. For all the classes actually it's 10. And here actually I'm checking okay, somebody actually wrote some logic that if name dot start with so what I'm doing, right? I'm checking actually if name is starting with same single first character, then return true. That's what my equals method says. So in this case, what happens, right? First I'm adding Sabha. Sabha has here, it's not 1. hash code actually we are returning 10. Hash code actually we are returning 10. Okay. Now let's debug each and everything and while I am explaining it. Okay. Sabah hash code actually we got 10. Look at what we are returning. We are returning 10 here, right? So 10 came here, and then Sabah came and added to the set. Now I am adding Kavya. Kavya also came here, right? Kavya ID also 10. Then actually JVM thought like, oh, it's the same ID. What should I do now? So in order to differentiate, it went to equals method. If it is not same ID, it shouldn't have gone into different equals method. Now it came to equals method. Now here what it is doing is name start. My logic is actually if name is starting with same character, right? So here this should give false as you are noticing here. If you can see it, it's returning false here. So then it reads that okay, it's a different entity. So let's add Kavya also as a linked list. So it goes and adds that one. Now Shahid is coming here. Okay. So look into Shahid, how it is working. Again, it will go and find Shahid ID. First, it will generate a ID through hash code. Shahid has also a same 10 ID, return 10 actually for him. So it comes here. Shahid and Sabah both has the same sentence, right? So it is returning true. Now it will not add actually. If you see size is still 2 because set did not add any elements. Set has added only Sabah and Kavya. Only 2 elements it is added. Set has shown only Sabah and Kavya. Shahid is not even added to the list because it thought like, okay, it has the same value. So now let's say we are adding fourth element also here. Hurry. I want to differentiate one more thing. So I'm adding fourth element also. Let's go and add here. So first I am adding S1 student. So first at very beginning, actually what it does, it goes and generate the ID. Okay, it added. Next, what happens? Can anybody explain? Sabah, can you explain what happens?
It will print Hari.
No. We are still adding Kavya here, second element.
Second element Kavya.
So yeah, what happens now actually? Why it is coming to hash code?
Because if already you are added Kavya, it will check, then it will go to equals and it will be false because Kavya is already added to the.
No. We added Sabah first.
Okay.
Sabah first, S1. Kavya, we are adding it now. So first thing is it will generate ID for Kavya. Okay. ID for Kavya, I'm intentionally giving like a class, which is like a 10. Okay. 10 is added to the Kavya. Because 10 is already there for Sabah, it went and checked like further details. If Kavya and Sabah both are same thing. Here my logic says, if first character is same, then they are same. Maybe somebody wrote like that. Okay. So it is false. So it will come and add to the set as Kavya. Now next thing I'm adding Shahid. Shahid ID also like a 10. See here hash code, Shahid hash code is returning 10 here. We are returning 10 here. So it will go further. Is he same object or not? Now, right? This logic returning true actually. The equals method returning true because it's saying that it's the same object. Forget about what is the logic there. Equals method saying that it is the same object. Then it will not add it. It will not add any element. So my size is still 2 here, which contains only Sabha and Kavya. Now I am trying to add Hari. Again, for each and every object, first thing is it will go and generate the ID. Hari ID is different. It's 12. So what happens? 12 is generated here, right? 12 is generated here. And it will not even go to equals method. See now, it's 12 is generated because 12, it didn't find it in the set. There is no 12 so far. So it generates direct, it goes and adds directly. In earlier case, actually, it went to equals method, right? But if you see it, actually, it didn't go there. But still, actually, Hari is added to the set. See, this is my set. It is added here. So that's how it will work, the hash code and equals method. The very first preliminary thing is that verifies when to identify an element hash code. If hash collision, then it will go for the equals method. Now it makes sense, Smriti? Any questions by anyone? Smriti, one second, I think I didn't see the charts. Okay. Yes, Smriti, any questions? I think she left. Well, she is not here. Okay. So no questions so far, let Dharni.
No, sir. No. Sir, it will
Okay.
simply checks that ID and name, whatever we are giving. It won't.
It simply checks hash code and equals. First hash code, whatever there in the hash code, right?
Okay.
Whatever it is written in the hash code, if it is same, then it will go and verify equals. If
Okay.
equals returning true, right? That means it's the same element. It will not add it.
Okay. It will add only one element. If you are having Sabha, same Sabha means in student S2 means it will add only one element.
Correct. So if it is a different name, it like let's say actually now I'm giving different name. So I also creating another. Yeah. So in this case, it will add all 4 elements. All 4 elements in this, it will add it. See, all 4 elements are there because I'm checking not class, I'm checking name also. If I do a 7th element like this one, I'm adding totally 5 elements, but I'm checking only in this case also, like it will add all 5 elements because the class is different. See, all 5 elements are added. If class is same, then it will not add on line number 7.
It will add
It will not
only
add.
three peoples.
It
Kavya
will
and
add
Shravya.
only these four. Yeah, this four actually do add. This S7 will not add it.
Ah,
Yeah. So that's how actually it will keep unique objects in the set. Okay. Before we jump on to any next topic, if you want to take a couple of minutes break, you can take it, and we'll regroup it again. Just ping me here whenever you are back. You can ping me so we can start again.